Welcome to Graphic Online TV. Today we are here at the Embassy of Israel in Accra here, and an opportunity to talk to a very important person. Very rare to have the opportunity. And here we have no other person than the Ambassador of Israel to Ghana, Her Excellency Slhlomit Sufar. You are welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Derry. It's a pleasure.
Nice, nice. 3 years has just come as though some 2 days. So you are ending 3-year tour in Ghana. How will you describe your stay in Ghana for the 3 years?
I would say not 3 years. It feels like 2 days, but feels like a blink of an eye.
Wow.
I would say it's unbelievable that 3 years have gone by so fast, which means that we had a very good time here in Ghana, and it will be very difficult to leave. I think it feels like we will leave half of our heart behind.
Wow.
Me and my family.
Good, good. So I know that is the situation with diplomats, but when you came to Ghana, you had a specific target to meet. Will you say that within these 3 years, you've achieved those targets?
I would say that I have achieved those targets, but these targets are also constantly updating, meaning my first and foremost mission as an ambassador of Israel to Ghana is to maintain and to deepen and to enhance the relations between Israel and Ghana, which on one hand, it's a wonderful thing to do because the relations are very good. So when you work in an environment where everywhere you go, you have open hearts and open arms to whatever meeting or activity you want to have, then it's very easy to move forward. On the other hand, there's always a desire to do more and better than the previous year. So if I would have looked at my activities in 2022, in 2023, I want to do better. And in 2024, I want to do better than that. So it's always a constant challenge.
So I know Israel, a very good partner to Ghana. You are into various areas of interest. Which area do you consider as the most successful in your operation as far as your work in Ghana here is concerned?
It's difficult to pinpoint just one area. I would say that in 2 areas we were very successful in the issue of promoting our relations on the field of economic development and on the field of international development, meaning that on one hand we have a very active trade office here within the embassy, and they have done excellent work with promoting economic relations between our 2 countries. And again, so much willingness on both sides to push things together. So I will elaborate in a minute on that. And also in terms of development, we have a development agency, international development agency, that is part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The name is Mashav. And through this agency, we were able to do so much in terms of programs in Israel, projects in Ghana, establishing all kinds of connections and partnerships. So I would say that these 2 are the main points in which we were successful, but there's much more to talk about.
A number of personalities, high-profile personalities from Israel have visited Ghana and vice versa. How will you look at those relations, and how does that impact in the relation between Ghana and Israel?
I'm happy to say that during my time in Ghana, I was able to fulfill a dream, and that is to have my Minister of Foreign Affairs come for a visit in Ghana. So he visited Ghana a year ago in July 2023. He was with a delegation, a very big delegation of business people and Israeli companies. And he was very, very warmly welcomed by His Excellency President Akufo-Addo and by Her Excellency Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bochwe. And he had a very good visit. And during this time, the last 3 years, we've seen many good visits of different personalities and senior officials from Ghana to Israel. I would think of, the Speaker of Parliament, of visits of a couple of ministers, sometimes for conferences. And there's, again, much more to be done, but we were able at least to fulfill this visit of the foreign minister. And there were many other visits of professionals coming in from Israel. Maybe we can talk about this later.
Yes, okay. Great. But there's this issue of very close ties between Ghana and Israel. And one of the exciting things for me has to do in the area of Agric, where our students are currently, some of them I'm sure currently still in Israel. Can you talk a little more about that aspect?
Yes, I'll be happy to. This is one of our flag programs in terms of cooperation on agriculture. It's a Mashav program, Mashav, the International Development Agency of Israel, in which we bring in a group of students that are already during their studies for agriculture at universities, different universities. They come into Israel for an 11-month program in which they continue with the academic studies, and for a couple of days a week, they work in Israeli farms. So at the end of this academic year in Israel, they get the academic credit for their studies, they get hands-on experience, and they're being paid salaries for their work. So they are also able, if they plan right, to come back with some basic or initial seed money for projects to be implemented later on in Ghana. So this program, currently we have a couple of dozens of students from Ghana. This program is, by the way, not just with Ghana, with other countries, but every year we're fighting to increase the quota because each country is allocated with a certain quota. So we're very happy about
from
this.
58. So 50 when we started. Now I hear the number is somewhere around 200.
The number was 200. Currently it's been reviewed, but we are, as I said, we're constantly pushing forward to have the number increased. But different constraints, different considerations by the ministry. But it's a very good program, and the students, when they come back to Ghana, they benefit so much from it, and they can contribute to Ghana's agriculture so much.
So you are leaving, unfortunately. But if you should have the opportunity, is there something you want to do differently?
Not differently, but more.
Wow.
I mean, we have in the pipe programs that address cooperation in the field of health, in the field of mental health, in other sectors such as agriculture, cybersecurity. So we have all kinds of programs in the pipe. Israel is also one of the founding fathers of the Ghana Digital Innovation Week. So this is also a program that will be held later on in the year, around the beginning of October. It's already been officially launched some 2 weeks ago. Something that, a dream of us, of the embassy, that we were able to fulfill just 20 days ago or so, was the planting of the Jerusalem forest, which was planted near the area of Chipa, not far from the Shai Hills.
That's the Greening Ghana Day.
Exactly, on June 10th, going in line with the president's policy and program of making Ghana greener, healthier, much more environmental conscious. So we were happy to be able to contribute to that, to the implementation of this very ambitious program. I believe the goal is set at 10 million trees.
Yeah.
And in Israel, it runs very deep, the issue of environment. We have a national holiday, a Jewish holiday, in which all the people in the country go out and plant trees.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh. It's usually around the middle of February, which in Israel it's beginning of springtime. So all the schools are sent to plant trees. Israel has a different climate than Ghana. We are semi-arid in most places. So trees and vegetation is extremely important. So in this holiday, the children learn from very young age about the importance of environment, of planting trees. So for us to come to Ghana as Israelis and continue with this goal and contribute to Ghana's agenda, that's a dream come true. So I invite everybody to visit our forest. It will grow. It's just been planted, but it will grow big and strong.
That's great. As a diplomat, you know, wherever a diplomat goes is governance of wherever they find themselves is always paramount. You are here, and I know you are also keen in the program, in the governance of our country. How will you describe Ghana's democracy?
I think I find it to be very vibrant. You see how the discussion is being held in the political level, in the media, in academia, in the think tanks, in civil society. It's very vibrant. People feel very strongly, very passionately about Ghana, about politics. This is, by the way, one of the many elements in which our two nations are so similar. Sure. Because you have a very similar situation in Israel. People feel very strongly, very passionately about their country. So you get the same experience here in Ghana. And I know that there's a lot going on because Ghana will be holding elections in about half a year time. So already, whoever people you meet and talk to, they have the very strong opinion of how Ghana should continue to thrive, how Ghana should face the future challenges, what needs to be done, what does not need to be done. And I find this extremely, extremely encouraging to see such a strong democracy in West Africa.
I was actually going to say that looking at the democracy, the kind of governance that we have in Ghana, how do you situate it, our context to that of Israel? Is there anything that is similar? Are there things practices that we can learn from Israel?
There are many similarities. I mean, the Israeli politics is based on many different political players that find their place in parliament, whereas the Ghanaian parliament currently is consisted of mainly the two big parties. Yeah. So in that place we are not that similar, but in the sense of many elements in the society of Ghana or the society of Israel, the civil society, and the political sphere, where you have different elements, different groups, and they have their own agenda, they have their own perspective, but they also have a very strong sense of commitment to the country and to the nation. I think that's a similarity between our two countries and our two people, because whatever your opinion is on what needs to be done in Ghana, you want the best for Ghana. Great. And you want the best for Ghanaians. And the same goes for the groups in Israel. They want the best for the country. So that's a similarity. And also the issue of very vibrant civil society. People have opinions. People attend conferences. They attend demonstrations. They want their voice to be heard. This is another similarity between our two countries.
As you are aware, we are just about some few months and we're going to the polls to elect presidents, parliamentarians, and learning from a big brother, big sister like Israel. What advice will you give to us as we move into polls?
It's not my place to comment on domestic affairs of my host country. I would just say that I would wish for our two countries, when they are in the process of approaching elections, to have this process done peacefully, orderly manner, giving the right place for the rule of law and not breaching the law in any way, and achieving the goals of the political system, the political campaigns and the elections peacefully in a manner that will allow the true will of the people to be expressed in the elections.
Can we move all the way to Israel to see what is happening in Israel?
Of course.
What is the state of affairs in Israel as far as the disturbances since October is concerned? What is the state now?
So we are currently at war with Hamas. We are still at war with Hamas ever since October 7, when Hamas attacked Israel. I'm sure the people who are watching us are aware of the atrocities that were committed on October 7 by Hamas against civilians. 1,200 people were slaughtered on that day, were subjected to torture, to mutilation, and to rape, sexual violence, and other atrocities that I find it even difficult to describe.
Sorry.
At the end of that day, 250 people were taken, babies, toddlers, men, women, elderly, were taken as hostages by Hamas to Gaza, of which currently we have still 120 hostages. Some were released, some were rescued, and currently we are looking at 120 hostages. This is something that is paramount for Israel. We are holding this war that was imposed on Israel. It's a war that is the expression of Israel's right and obligation for self-defense. We're fighting against Hamas because we cannot have Hamas continue to maintain leadership and its military power in the Gaza Strip. And we're fighting Hamas to release our hostages and bring them back. This is something that we have with us, each and every Israeli. From the moment we wake up until we go to sleep at night, it is always on our minds and on our hearts. And this is why I wear this yellow ribbon, which is symbolizing our constant desire to see our hostages released. And this war is very challenging because Hamas is using its own population as human shields. So fighting in densely populated urban territory is extremely difficult, and the price in terms of human lives is great, both on the Israeli side, where you have soldiers, hundreds of them, being killed or wounded, and we see the toll that this war is having on the civilian population in Gaza. And I must stress that Israel, the military, the government, we are doing everything we can to avoid the harm to civilians, but it is sometimes something that cannot be avoided. War is a horrible thing.
Is that not why so many countries, I know Ghana also recently added his voice, that go back to the negotiation table instead of this war that is resulting in so many lives being lost?
First of all, I would like to thank the government of Ghana for issuing a very strong, clear condemnation of Hamas and the atrocities. It was published on October 8th, 2023, and Israel is very grateful for Ghana for this very strong, clear voice of condemning terrorism. Second, in terms of calling for the end of the war, as I said, our goals are to make sure that Hamas will no longer be able to control the Gaza Strip and to release the hostages. Basically, why is there no call for Hamas to stop the war? Hamas started it. Hamas should end it.
Is it a way to, by what you are saying, does it mean that Israel, the intention is to clear off Hamas altogether, no more in existence as far as Gaza Strip is concerned? Is that what it means?
What we would like to achieve is that Gaza will be governed by moderate elements of Palestinian society, no longer by a terror organization that is a representation of radical Islam, of genocidal agenda against Israel. This is no longer, Israel cannot sustain this situation where this is the entity right at its border. We've seen again and again and again what Hamas is, what they're doing. For Hamas to continue controlling the Gaza Strip, where their intention, and they have declared it openly again and again. They said, we will have October 7, not once again, not twice, not 3 times, 10 times and more, until we will be able, this is Hamas saying, until we will be able to destroy Israel. What country in the world can be expected to allow this entity of terrorism, of genocidal agenda against Israel, to continue to maintain control over that territory? We would like to see a moderate regime in the Gaza Strip. We have no desire to control the Gaza Strip. We have no desire to remain there. We want to see it de-radicalized and demilitarized so people can live next to each other. And Hamas has no place in this solution. Hamas has no place because the goal of Hamas is not to liberate Gaza or to establish a Palestinian state. Hamas' goal is to destroy the state of Israel. And this is the situation that we're facing.
Is there any light at the end of the tunnel as far as this war is concerned?
We hope so. We hope so. There are many kinds of. Currently, there's a program that was publicly presented by President Biden. It was also secured or supported by a UN Security Council resolution. And this is currently what is being discussed. Hamas has already given all kinds of caveats and reservations to this program and actually rejecting it. So we will have to see what can be further negotiated, because we would like, again, to see our hostages released by Hamas, and some kind of negotiations is being held. It's most of it is being held, behind closed doors, with negotiators being mainly US and Qatar, Egypt as well, all of them trying to lead to a place where we can agree on the end of this war. But I believe that if Hamas started this war, then the pressure should be on Hamas to end this war and not to continue, not just attacking the soldiers, Israeli soldiers in Gaza, but also shooting rockets and missiles at Israeli civilians in Israel and targeting the crossings between Israel and Gaza, through which the humanitarian support is being delivered to Gaza, and Hamas continues to attack the crossings when the trucks are going through, just in order to kill more Israelis. This is such an absurd, this is a reality that we cannot understand, how an entity can attack the humanitarian support that is being delivered to their own people.
How long can Israel and Hamas continue with this war?
It's difficult to say when there will be a ceasefire or an end to this war. We would like to see this happening as quickly as possible. We do not have any desire to continue with this war more than necessary, but seeing what Hamas has done, seeing what it is capable of, seeing what they desire to do more, how can Israel be expected to stop the war and allow Hamas to take over again, to take over the control of Gaza Strip again? How can any country, anywhere in the world, be expected to stop protecting its citizens, stop implementing its basic right and obligation of self-defense, and just stop there? It is impossible to ask Israel, to expect Israel to stop the war without being able to make sure that Hamas is no longer capable of controlling the Gaza Strip. And this is not just for the benefit of Israelis. This is also for the benefit of the people who live in Gaza. Because as long as Hamas is there will not be peace. You cannot have peace with an organization, with an ideology that is set to destroy you as Israel and to destroy Jews, kill Jews all over the world. And this is part and parcel of the core ideology of Hamas.
As you see the way the fight is going, is there a possibility that you will be able to eliminate the Hamas? Because they are not at a particular place that you are saying we are dealing with them, we will clear them from here. They are with the people. How are you able to fish the Hamas out so that you have the moderate reciting in the Gaza Strip?
So thank you. That's an excellent question. And the answer is that we were able already to hit hard on Hamas military capabilities, on its terror infrastructures, and to destroy many of its arsenal of weapons, of posts and command posts, and the facilities, be them above ground or underground. As you know, there are many hundreds of kilometers of terror tunnels that have been built. And this, by the way, begs the question, if Hamas is so capable of building such elaborate infrastructure of terrorism underneath the Gaza Strip, why was there not one shelter built for civilians? Why are they left without any defense by their own regime that is taking care only about terrorism and about their fighters, but have no consideration whatsoever about the people that live in the Gaza Strip? That's a question that I think needs to be answered. But in terms of destroying Hamas, it is a mission that we have taken upon ourselves, and we are focusing on the military capabilities, the terror infrastructure, and we are doing very important work in that regard, and we are progressing very well on that. Despite all the challenges, despite all the difficulties that Israel has been facing through the last 9 months, we have never stopped moving forward in terms of developing Israeli economy and developing the channels and the bridges between Israel and Ghana. So just one example, currently this week we had an international, very big international conference held in Tel Aviv on cybersecurity.
Okay.
And we were very happy to host a delegation from Ghana visiting Tel Aviv, meeting Israeli companies. Hopefully there will be connections and partnerships made. And we also have a journalist sent with this delegation, so we hope to see her stories soon in Ghanaian media. So that's just one example of the constant connection that we have between Israel and Ghana, despite the war, despite the challenges. One more example, in a week and a half, we're going to have an Israeli expert come to Ghana and go to Kumasi to be a keynote speaker in a very big conference that will be held in the Kwame Nkrumah University for e-education, e-learning.
E-learning, okay.
And novel technologies for education. So this is one of our lead experts in Israel. He will be coming to Ghana. He will take part in this conference, and we're very happy to have him here soon.
Great. Thanks very much, because we know for technology, we know we can't talk about technology without mentioning Israel. Thanks very much for that. So we are done with Israel. We are back to Accra, and I want you to give us your last words, because most of us is most likely will not have the opportunity to talk to you again, and you might have been saying bye-bye to us. Your last word?
I think it's not a goodbye, but a farewell.
Okay.
It will be very difficult to leave Ghana. I will surely leave half of my heart here.
Wow.
With the many friends that I've met here, with so much warmth and love for Israel that is a unique experience for any Israeli diplomat, and even more so for an Israeli ambassador. So it's going to be live in Gaza, but never really living entirely. I will continue to have Ghana with my heart, with my thoughts.
Great.
I expect my successor to do very big things, good things. We're going to have our next ambassador of Israel to Ghana, a very seasoned diplomat, a person of great diplomatic experience, very wise and very capable of doing great things. And he will take the baton and continue to do more for our relations. It's difficult to summarize everything, in a few lines.
I know.
But it's been a wonderful experience. It's a constant demonstration on a daily basis of, despite the seemingly geographical distance, how our two countries and two nations are so close to each other. And we would like to see many people from Israel come in to visit Ghana to understand the treasures and the beauty of this country.
Thank you very much, all of you. It has been a great time with Her Excellency. She has shared a lot of ideas with us, a lot of experience she had gone through, and very importantly, what is going on in Israel. She has given us an insight, and I'm sure if we give her the opportunity, she will continue to talk for a number of hours. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of time. Thank you for watching us, and then let's together say, see you again, Excellency. We will miss you, and we know one time you will make time to pay a private visit, and then we'll meet you once again. Thank you for coming.
Medasepa.
For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh, or follow us on Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube and Twitter at GraphicGH.